Hello, and you're watching another segment of Focus, and of course we thank you so very much for tuning in. I'm excited today. We're going to be talking about my guest is a medium, and we're going to find out what is a medium, what's it all about. So we have as our guest, to my right, Miss Sharon Farber. Sharon, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on my show, and you are a medium, correct? I'm sure you're more than that, but can you kind of explain to our folks what exactly is a medium and what is it all about?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, of course.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
A medium is somebody who connects with deceased loved ones.
Okay.
A medium is psychic, but not all psychics are medium. You may have already heard that. So a medium uses their psychic abilities to connect with recognizable, significant loved ones in spirit for whoever they're reading for, whether they're doing a private reading or a demonstration. So it's all about people in spirit that you know and that can be recognized by evidence. It's not, I've got a tall, dark man in spirit. Do you know someone by the name of David? That's very general. It's not like a horoscope in the newspaper. It's about connecting with a mother, and she appears to be about 80 years old. She's got glasses, she's short, she's a bit stout, she really likes to garden, etc., etc., etc. It's really building up the personality of a person so that the person who comes to the medium really knows that it's their person. Mediumship is not a psychic reading where you talk about your past, present, and future. It's not past life regression or past life readings where you go into what you might have had in past lives. It's not Akashic records, it's not angel readings, it's not meet your spirit guide. Some people do mediumship and all these other things, and it gets a little bit blurred. My definition is rather rigid. It's about connecting with recognizable, significant people that you knew from this lifetime.
Do people specifically ask you to, for lack of wording, to connect with my father, sister, brother, or do you kind of know, or do you ask that? Who am I to connect with or for you?
That's a great question.
Okay.
And people often come with a desire to hear from a specific person. I don't ask them. I don't want to know who they want to connect with, and I can't guarantee anybody coming through. What I do is open myself up to connect with who I sense, feel, who out of the spirit people is able to come through, who has a strong presence, who wants to come through. Very often they'll hear from the people they want to hear from, but sometimes they don't, and they'll get surprise visits from people they wouldn't know, and I can't determine at all who comes through.
Okay, I got a couple of things now. You just made a couple of things. You said the word sense, what I sense. Explain that, but number two, what is it that they feel?
Who?
The person that's you're helping with to connect with this person. You said, it's whatever I sense, not based on what you've told me. It's what I sense based on.
Yes.
Okay. Now, and then you said something about that the person that I'm working with is what they feel. So.
No, it's not what they feel. It's the person, the spirit person. The spirit person who comes through, has a strong connection that I'm able to connect with. It's all about them.
Okay. So the person who's having this session, I'm going to assume you must call it sessions.
Yes, or readings.
Yeah. So when you start to feel, when you sense,
you want me to know how I do that?
Yeah, sort of. I mean,
that's another great question.
What's that like? I mean, what's that like?
It's different for different mediums. There's a number of ways that mediums can sense people in spirit. You've probably heard of clairvoyance.
Yes.
Clairvoyance is when you see things. That's where you get the idea, the phrase, I see dead people. So there's clairvoyance where you can psychically sense things. You can psychically hear things with clairaudience. You can know things. That's called claircognizance. There's clairsentience when you feel things, whether emotional or physical. And then you can also taste or smell things from spirit. So for me personally, there's a process, and I breathe, relax, quiet, get myself very present, and then I use my intention to connect with people for the person I'm reading for or the group I'm reading for, And then I psychically scan, and the first thing I generally see is an image of a spirit person. So I'll start off saying I have a man or I have a woman and a little bit about them. And then I usually move into the claircognizance. I just know things. This person has a really good attitude. They get along well with people. They have a joy of life, or not. I might say somebody's, they're tense, they're rigid, they have a lot of stress, and I go on from there. So for me personally, I often sense, and then I know.
Are your eyes closed and you say, I see someone, or is it the sensation of what it is that you're feeling? That represents the person that you're seeing. It's not an image per se, is it?
When I started off, and when most mediums start off, they close their eyes. They're,
Sure.
Because you can see better with your eyes closed. As I became a professional, I've been doing this for about 8 years, I keep my eyes open, and if I'm reading for you, I'll be looking towards you, but off into the distance, and then I'm still seeing the image within my mind, but I do it with my eyes open, and then tell you what I see.
Is that
no.
Were you scared when you first did it?
Absolutely not. Well, the thing is, my story is different than a lot of the other mediums.
Sure.
Many mediums, especially the mediums who wrote most of the books, have this ability when they're a child or even a toddler. They just see spirit people. It might be something they embrace or something that they think they're going crazy about, and maybe they block it and then come back to it. I chose to become a medium I got interested in it about 10, 12 years ago, and I've been working on that path for 8 years. So my story is different, that I went to a medium, I was fascinated, I said, I've been a healer, a massage therapist and healer for 31 years.
Wow.
So there's a little bit of overlap because you do work with energy fields.
Sure.
And I do believe there are guides that have been helping. But I got interested in mediumship, took classes, read books, and studied and developed the abilities intentionally, which is different. And so there wasn't any fear. Every time I connected with a spirit person, especially at the beginning, was like, yes, I did it. And there's nothing scary, nothing creepy or evil. It's all about people coming through, spirit people coming through from the highest love and light to bring healing. So what I do is bring healing between people on this side and the other. Nothing scary, nothing creepy. I don't have people. Other people with the unsolicited spirit abilities might have...
Well, what's that mean, unsolicited spirit?
Some people see spirit people without asking for it. They might not have good boundaries. They just might have a very open connection to spirit. And they might be at a party, at a concert, in the grocery store, and be seeing other people's spirit people. And if they're open, these spirit people might be nudging and say, go talk to my daughter, go talk to my daughter. I've never had that happen because I do my mediumship intentionally, in a class, in a circle, in a demonstration. I consciously open up my spirit door, if you want to use that expression, and connect with people. And then when I'm done, I set my intention to be done, and then it stops.
So when you first started to get into this, and you had this desire to do this, was there somebody physically with you, or did somebody help you emotionally
that's a good question.
And physically, or you just started meditating? Again, lack of words.
Once
I'm
again,
sorry.
that's part of where the book comes in.
Okay, this is your new book, correct?
That is my new book.
And you have this published, and I think we're going to post that right now. There we go. That's your book. And
I'll get right back to answering your question.
Sure.
But I published, actually, Llewellyn Worldwide published Choosing to be a Medium.
Yeah.
And, I'm pointing at it, but it's not up there.
It's a picture, yeah.
I realize that. That's okay.
Yeah.
March 2019, Llewellyn published Choosing to be a Medium, Experience and Share the Healing Wonder of Spirit Communication.
Okay.
And I did the companion journal because, to answer your question, when I wanted to become a medium, what I got was, I didn't think you could learn to be a medium, and I thought you had to be born that way.
And have these special gifts or whatever.
Yes, hundreds of people told me, and since then, as I'm a practicing medium, hundreds of people tell me, I didn't think you could learn to do that. So no, I wanted to do it, and I didn't have a mentor, someone holding me under their wing. I went to a 3-hour class here, a full day class here. Once I finally had my first connection, and it was a massage client, and I connected with his father. Well, actually, that was after. It was a different massage client, and I connected with her father, actually. 2 of my first were fathers. But I was literally jumping up and down and so excited. And after I did that, I went to a school in England called the Arthur Findlay College, which is probably the best place on the planet to study mediumship. So I went to school, I went to classes, I read books, but I never had somebody holding my hand and guiding me throughout the thing. I've had temporary mentors and teachers. So I wrote the book called Choosing to be a Medium so that people like myself will have the guidance. It has 65 exercises.
Wow.
It talks about how I did this, and it talks about the challenges I had and how to get through those, how to address your fears, your challenges, how to go from starting and making your first connection to what to do as a professional medium. Should you record mediums? What about doing a demonstration, which is when you read for a group of people instead of one. So no, I didn't have the mentorship that I would have liked, especially when I was starting out. And I wrote the book to help people who are in the position I was so that they can start with the book and find good teachers and do what needs to be done to develop their mediumistic abilities.
When you were giving that massage to that young lady, or to that
Yes.
Female, and you experienced her father, was the intention for you to do that, or was it because you were giving her a massage and that feeling just came?
Nope.
Did she come for that? She did not come to...
She came for a massage. And I told her that I told her about an experience that happened earlier in the day where a mentor of mine, Dottie, who's in the book, gave me permission. She told me, if I didn't think you could do this, I would tell you. She told me to get a mentor and immerse myself in mediumship. So this was right while I was like, I want to do this, and everybody says no. I saw Dottie that afternoon, and Dottie, who I trust and respect, pretty much gave me permission to do mediumship and said, basically, I believe in you. That evening, I told my client about my experience with Dottie, and she said, oh, well, you can practice on me, and told me she had a friend who passed a few months ago, and maybe I could reach her friend. So during the massage, I was specifically using my intention and being open to connect with somebody. But I didn't connect with her friend. Instead, I connected with her father, which was even better. Because if I told her about her friend, I might have thought, she's getting a massage thinking about her friend, which she might have been because she said, oh, my friend passed. But instead, I picked up some information on her father, part of his name. I saw cigarettes. I knew there was a connection to cancer. I saw his military uniform. And this is my first time, and I told her about this, and she's like, it's not my friend, but it all worked for my father. And the best part is that not only did he have a military uniform, but she owns it. She has it in her possession, and she was looking at it 2 days earlier. So that's the feedback that had me jumping up and down, like, oh my goodness, I can do this. That must have been
exciting for you.
That was my epiphany of like, I can do this, which let me dive in, immerse myself, and passionately study it for the next 8 years so far. It'll be decades, yes.
Let me just tell our viewers who have just tuned in, and we thank you. We are talking with Sharon Farber, who is who does mediumship. Are you a mediumist?
I am. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. No, I'm a medium.
You're a medium. And
I'm a massage therapist, healer, artist, author, and medium, to be exact.
And the term medium...
A medium is...
mediumship is the act of...
Yes, I'm a medium, and I do mediumship.
Okay. And you have a place in New Hartford, or is it Pine Meadow?
Well, Pine Meadow is a little section of New Hartford.
Okay.
So I often tell people New Hartford because they haven't heard of Pine Meadow.
Okay.
But in Pine Meadow is Dragonfly Healing Arts.
Okay.
And thanks for asking. I opened that up September will be 6 years.
Wow.
I do massage and energy healing. We have yoga. I have other people who work there with me. A woman who does angel card readings. Right now we have someone who does crystal healing, someone who does tarot reading, other people who do Reiki, and a lovely yoga teacher. We got a little yoga studio.
Nice.
And that's where I do massage and healing and reflexology still, but my passion is mediumship.
Okay.
So I give readings. I lead a mediumship development circle every Wednesday, which you don't know what it is, but a circle is where mediums gather together at the set time. We've been gathering weekly for 6 years.
And what do you all do?
Mediums of different levels, we sit together and we use our intention to connect with spirit people for each other as part of our development. So we sit in circle to develop and support each other. And on the first Wednesday of most months, we'll have a guest circle where we invite guests to come, and instead of giving readings for each other, we read for our guests.
Wow.
But back to Dragonfly Healing Arts, so we have that there, mediumship demonstrations, readings, and more recently I'm leading mediumship development retreats. I just led one in Chester, Connecticut at the Guest House Retreat and Conference Center last month, which went really well. I'll be teaching one in North Carolina at the Art of Living Retreat Center in the Blue Ridge Mountains in September.
Yes. You also have well, this won't be shown that, but July 14th, you have a book signing.
I do. July 14th is a book signing.
This book right over here, folks, and that is available.
Are you saying this won't be out before then?
No, this won't be shown until next week.
Oh, okay, because that's Sunday. So I have a lot of book signings. I'm at different libraries, bookstores. There'll be more and more author events where I go and talk about the book and mediumship.
Do you have a phone number that people can call?
Yes. My phone number, the phone number, good for texts and phone calls, is 860-989-2358. Again, that's 860-989-2358. And my email is Sharon at SharonFarber.net. And the website you're probably going to be showing on the screen is www.SharonFarber.net. So that's all pretty easy. SharonFarber.net, Sharon at SharonFarber.net, and you have the phone number.
And the address of the place?
8 Wicket Street.
Okay, most important.
In Pine Meadow, right off of 44. You can see it from Route 44. Across from the Pine Meadow Post Office.
And the hours that you open?
The hours...
Or is that always by
appointment?
Okay.
We have hours whenever people happen to be there. And if I happen to be there and I'm in the middle of a reading or massage, I can't see anybody. So always call first before coming by.
Sure. But for someone who wants to experience this because of a loved one who has passed on, and they're asking you to help. What do you? What is it? How does someone who doesn't understand this but understands what you're capable of doing? What's it like for them? Is it joy? Is it sadness? Or does it matter on what you see or what you feel with regards to who they're asking you to connect with?
Well, just to reiterate, they can't ask somebody specific for me to connect with.
I see.
They have to come, and they might have a child, a spouse, or a parent that they really want to hear from. And that's why they're coming in. But I don't want to know that. The less I know, the better.
Oh, I see. You mentioned that, I'm sorry.
To prove, that's okay, prove the continuity of life, to validate that it's really their loved one. I don't want to know that they have a child in spirit or that their husband just passed. I want to have come in cold. And so what they're going to get out of it is part of, some people come, oh, this sounds really neat, let's see who comes through. And some people have a great need to connect with somebody. I mentioned that I don't take requests, if you want to put it that way. But what has happened a number of times is I'll have someone come in and I'm connecting with people for them, and I sense that there's a need there that hasn't been met yet, and they're not really excited about who I'm connecting with. And then I might say, no guarantees, but is there somebody you really wanted to hear from? And then they'll tell me, and usually when that happens, it's a child. I'll just sense that, and then, or it could be their best friend, or it could be a spouse or something like that. And then they'll tell me, like, okay, and what I'll do is put out a little invitation. I can't make it happen, but I'll just kind of search and zone in a little for them, and chances are very good that that person will then be there.
How long does a session usually last, basically? It's tough to say, I'm sure.
Right. Well, I do private sessions for 45 minutes,
Okay.
or a session for 2 people for an hour, or I'll do little groups of 3, 4, 6, 10 people, which go a bit longer.
Yeah. Is it draining for you? Are you emotionally and physically drained?
I have good boundaries. The idea is you have empathy and compassion. If I'm connecting with somebody who just lost somebody, and it's not ideal, this is important, for them to come in immediately. You don't lose somebody and then go to a medium 2 weeks later. People do, but it's not ideal. I suggest that people work through their grief a little bit and do some healing so they're not as raw and needy. But what was the question?
Do you feel
Oh, right, got it.
strained
I remember.
and exhausted? And
So I might feel emotional. I might cry a few tears with the people as it's a serious emotional bond. But I've been doing healing work for 30 years. So I know not to take on other people's pain. I'm not going to become a sobbing mess. I work with a lot of new mediums. I teach beginner classes. I mentor people, I work in circle, and a lot of people don't have that ability. They will get a connection and they will fall apart and cry and have an emotional reaction that's hard to deal with. I've been professionally working with people and healing for 30 years, so not so much. I don't do many a day. It's not like I'm going to do 4 or 5 readings in a day. I space them out and I prepare and I try to make sure I'm rested and fed.
Yep.
And no, it's not draining. I'm not a mess afterwards. But that just, if you don't mind me saying,
No, please.
self-care is really important
Yeah.
for mediumship.
Sure.
And surprised you haven't asked me about evil spirits. And
Well, I was going to, my next question, but I want to offer you something.
Yes.
A friend of mine whose father passed away at the time when it happened, and after the funeral, he told his wife, I'm going to go upstairs and lay down. He was drained because he missed his father.
Right.
And within, I'm not sure what time frame, from the time he fell asleep, when he woke up, because he heard a noise, he turned around, and his father was by the, he swears, my father was there, and he stood there, and he looked at him, and he said, Peter, everything is going to be all right. And then he fell asleep again. What do you think that was?
I think that was his father coming through and him seeing an image of him.
To reassure his son.
Yes, that's how it works.
Yeah.
A lot of people will see their own people without considering themselves actual mediums.
Yeah.
A lot of people will smell a scent, like I've had clients tell me they smell cigarettes when their father's near, or a perfume from their mother. So people can sense their own spirit people.
Let's talk a little bit about misconceptions. I think it's important because
Yes.
I'm sure the people who are watching, who will be watching, who are watching, I should say, I'm sure, that's baloney. What do you say about that? How do you react to that? Or maybe it's because they've been misinformed.
My job isn't to prove that mediumship exists.
Okay.
My job is to bring healing to people, healing and comfort to people who are grieving for somebody, or not even actively grieving. It could be that their friend from 20 years ago comes through, and it's just a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
My job is to bring support to them and healing, and to help the people on the other side, because people don't realize that the spirit people who come through, we're not summoning them. They're coming through because they also want to connect with their living people. So misconceptions that you get taken over by spirit, that evil spirits are going to come through, that mediumship is like voodoo, those are Hollywood. Also,
I was going to mention that.
also about ghosts and entities. I don't even know. I know we don't have that much time. I don't even know where to start. But it's a healing, respectable profession. Yes, there are people who take advantage of people. There's fraud in mediumship as well as all kinds of other things. So there are people, but an accurate, compassionate, evidential medium is going to connect with your loved ones, give you enough information to help you know that they're still alive. It's not like they passed and they're completely gone, that they're present in spirit and can be aware of your life. And help people with their own fear of death, because it's not complete death, you're just transitioning into another life, and bring healing. So the Ghostbusters, the TV shows, also the part where mediums go up to people on the street, and that's not exactly appropriate.
Hollywood. That's Hollywood.
Right. But some people actually do it. It's not really ethical. If you're in line to go to the movies and there's a chiropractor behind you, this chiropractor might sense that you're crooked. So if your chiropractor goes up to you and gives you an adjustment because they noticed that your spine was out of alignment, that's not okay.
No, no.
Having a medium going up to a stranger and saying, your mother's here and I have a message, is also invasive and not professional or appropriate.
It sounds like the whole process is very gentle.
It's gentle.
And soothing.
Gentle and soothing. It can be intense.
Yeah.
It can be intense as in there's somebody's giving you proof or evidence that your loved one is still around. So people cry, but when people cry for me, that is a good thing because they're making a connection, they're having an emotional release, and it's helpful.
Okay. We have just a couple minutes left. Let's use that time to inform our viewers as to where you are, phone number, website. Would you like to do that?
Sure, thank you.
Yeah. Your place is located in New Hartford.
Yes. I have a place called Dragonfly Healing Arts.
Yep.
It's in Pine Meadow, which is part of New Hartford, 8 Wicket Street. Please call first, text, or email to make an appointment because we're not always there. And if I'm in session, I won't be very helpful. Oh, we also have crystals and sage and all kinds of nice things to buy. So at Dragonfly Healing Arts, we've got massage, reflexology, mediumship, private readings, mediumship classes, demonstrations, yoga, and other people doing other wonderful healing things. And it's 860-989-2358. My email is sharon@sharonfarber.net, and it's Sharon, SHARON, Farber's FARBER. The website is www.sharonfarber.net. And
if
love to hear from you.
And if somebody wants to buy the book, they can come right to your place, as long as
the book is available anywhere you can, at bookstores, online, Amazon. If you want a signed copy, you can call me and I can send one out, signed copies for me. But otherwise, anywhere you can buy books, you can find it. And it's called Choosing to Be a Medium, and it was published on March 2019.
Wow, just recently.
Yes.
It's fresh. Okay. Sharon, I want to thank you so very, very much for being a guest on our show, Focus. And of course, we want to thank you folks for watching Focus. And we hope that you will continue to watch all the other shows that are being produced by, you know who, your neighbors. To me, it's all about community and reaching out and getting to know each other a little bit better. I want to thank you for watching, and we hope that you will continue to watch. And I'll see you again real soon. I got lots of shows coming up. Thank you.